Kirsty and I are now going to show you how you can exercise when you're standing in the frame. Initially, when people first start to stand, they can feel a little bit unbalanced and they will have to use their hands to hold on to the handrails, or alternatively you can put your hands onto the table in order to secure your balance, and you may be using your hands to prop yourself up at that point. As time goes on, what you may be able to do is to begin to lift one hand in the air and try and get your balance, and down again. Even just a few inches may be a good first step. And then perhaps trying with the other hand as well. Okay, and down. And as you begin to do this, you will be using your muscles in your trunk a little bit more and hopefully strengthening them up. As time goes by, you may be able to just lift both hands very gently, just a few inches off and down, and you may be only able to hold that for a few seconds, but if you persevere you may find that your trunk muscles get a little bit stronger, and over time you're able to hold your arms up for a little bit longer. And down. Also, when you're using your arms, you can begin to just move your body forwards and back. But initially, again, you may want to keep hold of the frame while you're doing that. Some people feel that they're falling forwards and they're a little bit worried about hitting the front of the frame, so you could put a towel or you could put a pillow on the frame here just to take that fear away. So Kirsty, can I just ask you to put your hands on the handrests and then just gently lean forwards as far as you feel comfortable, and then lean back. Forwards again and back. Now to begin with, again, you may be using your arms quite a lot for that movement, but the aim is, if you can, to try and use your arms less, and you may want to just hover them over the front of the frame, if I can just so that they're there as a sort of safety measure. And if you can, begin then to move forward again and back. Can you lift one hand off and try that again, Kirsty? Yes, please. And back. That's lovely. And the other hand. Lovely. So you're trying all of these things initially with your hands, then with one hand, and then, if possible, with two hands. If you hold on to the sides again, Kirsty. Can you just try twisting in the middle from side to side, so you're looking over one shoulder and looking over the other shoulder, so you're getting a twist in your trunk from side to side, using a slightly different set of muscles to do that. And this is often a movement that we don't tend to do if we're spending a lot of time sitting in a chair. And then the last movement that the trunk does, which is a side bend, bending towards one side, trying to take your shoulder down towards the handrest, and then come up and down the other way. Right. You can use little pieces of equipment, such as a light walking stick or something, to... Are you okay there?
Mm-hmm. Want me to lift it?
Yes, please. You're right? To just challenge your balance a little bit more. But again, be careful. As you see, Kirsty was there ready with her hand. It just helps to give your back and your trunk muscles a little bit more work to do. That's lovely. And down. Okay. Can you come up to your chest, Kirsty, and then just try going forwards a little bit with the stick? Is it forwards in front of you?
No.
That's too difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that is something that Kirsty would work towards doing. You could also use things like beanbags or anything that you've got, or a ball. You could perhaps balance with one hand. Kirsty, if you just throw them down onto the ground with the other hand, perhaps. Okay, and then number 3, and then swap hands. Kirsty is putting one hand behind her back there, but she could support herself if she wanted to. If you feel unsteady, again, you've always got one hand and something to hold on to if necessary. Often when people first start to stand, they find their back muscles can be quite weak, and so if they try to let go with their hands, there is a tendency to fall forwards. But for many people, as they begin to use the standing frame more, they can get a little bit stronger in their back, and they can begin to confidently then do some exercises without holding onto the frame. So Nick and I are going to show you some of those exercises that you can actually do, which will be a little bit more challenging for those muscles in the trunk and will help to strengthen some of those muscles up. So initially, Nick, can you just take both arms up in the air for me? Hold it there and down. And up in the air and down. Sometimes again this is easier if you use something like a walking stick or a piece of doweling, and it just helps to guide the movement. So come up in the air, and all the time Nick is working very hard to keep his balance. Okay, this time Nick, can you take the walking stick to your chest and then out in front of you and try and keep your balance and keep going. Back again. And initially you only may be able to move the stick just a few inches away from your chest, because the further you move it away, the harder it is to hold your balance. But you may then be able to move it as time goes by a little bit further forward. That's great. And rest. Okay. We're then going to add in a bit of a twist, which again will help a slightly different set of muscles there. So I'm going to ask Nick to bring the walking stick up in front of him and then twist one side and then twist the other way. That's great, nice and slowly. There's really no set number that you have to do of these. It's however many that you feel able to do. It may be just one, it may be 10. Just listen to your own body and try and just challenge it a little bit more as time goes by if you can. Okay. The third movement that we do is a sideways movement. And so I'm just going to ask Nick to put his arms either side of the frame, so he's not actually holding on, and reach down one side as far as he can, and back up again, and then back to the other side. That's lovely. Can you hold on there? Great. Initially for that twisting movement, you may just want to start by taking one hand and touching the frame on the other side while holding on with the other hand, and back, and then change. This gives you a little bit of stability, and you might be able to progress to doing that without holding on. Rest in between. These are big muscles that you're using, so don't work too hard or you'll find that they can be very tiring. But just do a little bit, challenge yourself if you can, and try and aim for making it a little bit more of a challenging movement as time goes on. Again, if you feel worried about or concerned about the tray here or falling forwards, put a pillow on the front and that will just give you some protection. You can use all sorts of things. You can do things on this tray, you can do writing, you can even do the washing up. Anything which will involve you using your hands without holding on will mean that you will also have to use your balance muscles. So the tray doesn't have, the standing frame doesn't just have to be used for exercise, it can be used for doing things as well. Even playing ball with the kids. Or you can stand and just throw the ball, which is a very nice activity to do as well. When you're trying to get your balance. If you want to make it quite challenging, you can even add some weights into the movements that we've just been doing. So it just makes it a little bit harder. Okay. And any sort of weights will do, hand weights, even holding on to a pack of dried lentils or something like that will also do the trick. That's good. Go out to the forward and out to the side. Again, be guided by your body. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Do as many as you feel able to do. Don't overdo it. Don't get yourself too tired. But always try and challenge your body a little bit more as time goes on.